我想问问，就是现
I want to ask how single women around 30 years old these days manage to find partners. I feel like at our stage there are basically only two types of men left for us to choose from, either divorced or those who are basically good for nothing, broke without a penny to their name. It's just so awkward now. I think in our 20s everyone was focused on building their careers, and by now we've gained some financial stability to consider marriage. But then you realize all the good men are already taken, and what's left are basically useless guys who just put on a facade. Are we, the so-called leftover women, now just left to clean up after others' failed relationships, forced to shop in the second-hand market? People always talk about celebrating independent women, but honestly, if you can get married around 25, just do it. Because by the time you reach my age, you'll realize that good men aren't even circulating in the dating pool. They're all already married. By the time you're ready to choose, you're stuck picking from the leftovers in the second-hand market. How is everyone else managing to find partners? Tell me so I can learn and take some notes. In Shenzhen, the gender ratio is about 1 to 7, one man for every 7 women. This city is full of amazing, high-achieving women. I really think no other city makes dating as hard as Shenzhen. There are way too many women and not enough men. It's a brutal imbalance. The phenomenon of over 100 million leftover women in today's society is the result of capitalism's relentless idolization and exploitation of women, which has spawned numerous marital issues, leaving many men frustrated and exhausted. You might wonder, if there are 30 million more single men than women, how can there be 100 million leftover women? The truth is, both realities coexist. Single men do outnumber women, and the massive number of older single women is also real. However, you rarely hear reports about leftover women, because such coverage would amplify women's anxieties and undermine capitalism's ability to continue profiting from them. I was born in 1990 and I'm 35 this year but still not married. I've never been against marriage. I admit I've let myself down. In my 20s I had plenty of great opportunities, but I always thought I was still young and in no hurry, so I ended up wasting my chances. There were also times when I met good men, but I overestimated my own worth and ended up missing out. Now in my 30s I'm panicking and rushing to get married. But I realize I don't have the eye for spotting good men, so I keep ending up with the wrong ones. That's why it's better to marry early. You come across more high-quality options then. Today I turned 33, unmarried and considered leftover. I think one of the dominant reasons why women struggle to get married as they grow older is the prevalence of scammer men. There's this female influencer with over 900,000 followers who does live sales. Her name is Sheng Dali Shichichi. I spent the whole day today reading about her situation. After being scammed by her gold-digging ex-boyfriend, she's now suing him and his mother. Honestly, things like this happen a lot in real life. As an older single woman, you encounter all kinds of bizarre and terrifying dating scenarios, which is why many of us end up staying unmarried. The more you hear about these things happening around you, the scarier it gets. You become afraid of being deceived, afraid of being targeted, afraid of running into men who shamelessly mooch off women, and afraid of men who just want to take advantage of you. So I feel like a big reason many women nowadays can't bring themselves to marry is that there are just too many scammer men out there. A lot of guys claim there are many gold-digging women, but I think women are afraid to marry now because there are too many opportunistic, exploitative men. Why staying away from beautiful women might be pragmatic. Every time attractive women appear on platforms like TikTok, many instinctively swipe past them, some even clicking "not interested." This reaction stems from a pragmatic mindset that prioritizes utility. Relationships or interactions that offer no tangible benefit or relevance are often dismissed as distractions, particularly if they risk consuming time and resources without return. For the average individual, beautiful women present 3 key challenges. First, they inherently carry a high social premium. The luxury industry operates on a similar principle. Products command exorbitant prices by emphasizing aesthetic value. The same logic applies to beauty. Why do women invest heavily in skincare, fashion, and cosmetic enhancements? It's rarely just for personal satisfaction. Rather, it's a calculated effort to secure social and economic advantages. Whether landing better career opportunities, outperforming rivals, or attracting higher status partners, beauty functions as currency. The more striking the appearance, the higher the social premium, something evident when observing who high-profile TV hosts or celebrities marry. For an ordinary person, engaging with such women often proves impractical because the associated costs outweigh the benefits. Second, maintaining beauty demands significant expenditure, often disguised as indulgence. A real-life example illustrates this. A university professor frequently purchased luxury spa memberships, each costing thousands. On her birthday, the salon arranged an elaborate celebration, complete with a cake, a handsome host, and personalized service. She was deeply moved, failing to recognize that the entire spectacle was funded by her own spending. The illusion of exclusivity and care was merely a clever repackaging of her financial investment. Third, beauty's appeal diminishes over time. Human psychology adapts quickly to aesthetics, whether stunning or plain. As Jack Ma once remarked, no matter how unattractive someone is, familiarity breeds indifference. Conversely, even the most beautiful face loses its novelty. Relationships built solely on physical attraction face diminishing returns. Variations in appearance or style eventually plateau, leaving little to sustain long-term interest. Ultimately, the issue isn't beauty itself but cost efficiency. Social and romantic dynamics are, at their core, transactions where resources and returns must balance. Those with ample wealth may absorb the expenses of dating highly attractive partners without concern. But for most, pursuing relationships with steep social premiums, whether through financial strain, emotional labor, or competitive effort, often leads to an unsustainable imbalance. As scholar Yi Zhongtian once quipped, marrying someone unremarkable eliminates rivalry altogether. For ordinary individuals, practicality trumps prestige. A partner whose value isn't tied to fleeting aesthetics or exorbitant upkeep often proves the wiser investment. I just haven't gotten married yet. What terrible crime have I committed? Those male streamers keep saying I'm out of water, out of power, and shutting down. Go ask your mom, ask her if she's shut down, ask her if women her age are shut down. I don't get it. If you don't understand, if you're not informed, go look it up online, okay? It's all there on the internet. Stop insulting women every single day, alright? Not getting married is a personal choice. What does it have to do with you? Do you just have nothing better to do? Honestly, I kind of look down on you. I look down on all of you. Stop attacking women every day, okay? Life is already hard enough for girls. Can't you just give them some breathing room? She just hasn't married yet. It's not like she's committed some heinous crime that warrants your daily slander. You really must have nothing better to do, huh? So bored and restless. A single woman in her late 30s says she's almost 40 and has finally figured out why she can't get married. It's because her standards were too high before. She demanded a car, a house, high bride price, and the 3 golds, traditional wedding gifts, so she remained unmarried and is now approaching 40. Now she's lowering her standards: no car, no house, no bride price, and no 3 golds. Will she finally be able to get married this time? But at this point, it's almost like her golden years are over, like a hen that's already laid all its eggs and is only fit for soup. What do you all think?
在深圳，大龄剩女
In Shenzhen, leftover women aren't simply lying flat, they're just too exhausted to keep fighting. Do you think they've willingly embraced loneliness? In reality, they've been pushed into this position by the times. Listen to the stories of these older single women, every word laced with bitterness, exposing the harsh realities of modern independent women. First, 40 years old. In her youth, she proudly declared she'd never marry or have kids, claiming men are worse than dogs. But after her parents passed away, she suddenly realized she had no value left. The mahjong tables in the nursing home were livelier than her double bed. The so-called independent woman couldn't even afford a burial plot in the end. Second, 34 years old. Her medical records outweigh her savings: thyroid nodules, breast hyperplasia, ovarian cysts. These might as well be called social castration syndrome. When the 996 grind of an independent woman falls entirely on one person, hospital test results become the workplace injury reports of single women today. Third, 38 years old. At 28, she always thought she'd find someone better. Now, with a 500,000 yuan dowry demand, she can only cry about dying alone in a rental apartment with no one to claim her body. Sudden death becomes performance art. The noise belongs to others, while her own breathing is silent. Fourth, 35 years old. Even offering a house and car isn't enough to attract a partner. The dating market is harsher than the pork trade. Older women are labeled as expired goods. To men, a 30 or 40-something with assets is worthless compared to a penniless 20-year-old brimming with youth and fertility. Fifth, she priced her education and assets, only to realize men don't even glance at the tag. When a 580,000 yuan dowry becomes proof of being unsellable at 39, she finally understands the need for self-improvement. Nursing homes aren't the final stop, they're a brutal mirror. Think hiding in a nursing home guarantees a peaceful end? Look at billionaire Li Chunping, 7 billion yuan net worth, whose caretakers drained his fortune. Or the elderly man in Shanghai who entered a nursing home with 4 million yuan, only to find it was a death sentence. There are no fairy tale comebacks here, just the bloody law of survival. The scorn and abuse from staff are crueler than any ex's betrayal. Don't assume you'll grow old with your girlfriends, your bestie might not even afford her own surgery. Don't boast about hiring 10 caretakers, they'll drain your savings faster than you can call for help. Society's punishment for single women isn't moral condemnation, it's when you collapse from a heart attack at midnight, trembling on the bathroom floor, unable to even dial 120. You become a ghost the world forgot. This isn't fear-mongering, it's a cold splash of reality for those living in the pink-filtered delusions of short videos. You can choose not to marry, but you must face the truth. When menopause clashes with nursing home bullying, will your pension be enough to preserve your last shred of dignity?
I'm
a 33-year-old woman considered older for childbirth, and lately I've been extremely anxious and emotionally drained. I've realized how serious the problem is because I can't even get basic, normal sleep anymore. My daily routine is chaotic, I have zero social life, and both my work and personal life are a mess. I can't focus properly on my job, and I've lost patience with everyday life. And when I say zero social life, I mean absolutely none. I turned to the internet, thinking it might be my salvation, but after spending some time here I realized it can't save me either. How should I adjust myself moving forward? If my anxiety about childbirth is unbearable, maybe I'll try shifting my focus to nostalgia for my hometown, though I'm not sure if that will solve the problem. What I really look forward to is the day I finally let go of the idea that I must get married and have children. The moment I release that expectation, I believe my mind will feel so much lighter, and I'll finally break free from this emotional turmoil and anxiety. The mental exhaustion and anxiety are truly unbearable. At night I'm exhausted, but I just can't sleep, I can't control my emotions. I keep overthinking and worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. I know it's irrational, but even though I understand the logic, I can't control my thoughts. I worry that because I'm older and unmarried, what if I can't have children? If I don't have a child, it'll become a lifelong regret. And if I don't have kids, will my life lose its purpose? Does that mean I should just give up now? As long as I don't starve, as long as I have food to eat, that's enough, right?
大龄女性没有结婚价值。
Do dolly women have no marital value? These old-fashioned relics with backward ideas are the ones who shout every day about how modern society has achieved gender equality and how bridal prices are no longer necessary. Yes, it's these very people. I want to ask them, if you truly believe in gender equality, why is it that older single men can openly go on blind dates in public and no one bats an eye? Why is it considered normal for them to demand that women be young, beautiful, bring equal dowries, own property, be independent, and be frugal homemakers? What gives them the right to act so entitled? And what about older single women? Where is the so-called gender equality here? Are all unmarried women in their 30s lazy, gold-digging, and demanding 880,000 yuan in bridal payments? The social atmosphere has been utterly poisoned by certain people, turning into a chaotic, toxic mess. It's 2025, and yet some still use marriage to shackle women, reducing their worth to their age. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the marriage rate in 2023 hit a 40-year low, at just 4.8 per thousand. In first-tier cities, nearly 30% of women over 30 remain unmarried. This is nothing new. So I urge my sisters not to be bound by patriarchal thinking. A woman's value is not defined by marriage but by her talent, ability, character, and contributions to society, her family, and her own passion for life. Whether you marry or not and how old you are has absolutely nothing to do with your worth. Here I must mention the case of a Shanghai heiress, an only child, whose 200 million renminbi inheritance was split in half by her ex-husband after less than a year of marriage, leaving him with 100 million. The woman, pseudonymously referred to as Tang Lu, was nearing 30, anxious to marry, and succumbed to a man's sweet words and aggressive pursuit. They married, but just 6 months later, her parents died in a car accident while traveling. Men are skilled at deception. A man from an ordinary family might keep up the act until you're pregnant, but this gold digger played his role until her parents passed. Why? Because he knew they had left no will or estate plan. He studied the law and realized those 200 million would become marital property. Half a year after her parents' death, he filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, and demanded half of the fortune. This is the evil of human nature, and why many wealthy only daughters in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai no longer seek live-in sons-in-law. They'd rather pass wealth to their children directly, because human greed is unpredictable. What if the son-in-law schemes to take the family's wealth, or worse, poses a threat to their lives? Remember Hong Kong socialite Abby Choi, who was murdered and dismembered by her ex-husband and his family. Isn't that terrifying? This is why truly accomplished older single women no longer care to marry. If they want children, modern biotechnology makes it possible without relying on a man. No need to harm anyone's body or emotions. Can men even compete with that? Can they afford surrogacy? Or do they resort to manipulation? And how do they manipulate? By creating age anxiety, telling young women, marry me early, provide me with sexual value, bear my children, or else no one will want you when you're old. But today, most women have woken up. They're not falling for it anymore. In 2024, China's Civil Affairs Bureau reported that the average age for first marriages is now around 30. In some European and American countries, it's even over 35. So, sisters, don't let patriarchal thinking trap you. These men just want to satisfy their biological urges and fulfill continue the family line duty, but without real effort. They'll marry you, then complain you're not frugal enough, that your 3,000 renminbi salary is too low while demanding you earn 30,000, that you own nothing while expecting you to bring a house and car. Even if they give a bridal price, they'll eye your dowry, insisting it be used for the shared household. A few years later, once you're married with children and trapped, they drop the act. The cold shoulders begin. No financial support, mama's boy behavior, emotional neglect, even infidelity and abuse. You either endure humiliation or fight back and lose everything. Why? Because the house and car aren't yours and you can't take the kids, you lack the income, and your family won't back you. So, young women, what's your leverage in marrying so early? Of course, if you're financially independent with a stable career and income, marriage won't chain you. If your partner is truly cooperative, not the type to dump all responsibilities on you, and shares household duties, then it's possible. If you understand that love isn't a fairy tale and accept its flaws, then go ahead. But if you meet these 3 conditions, you've likely already fought your way through the workplace. You have maturity and emotional stability, which means you're probably no longer young. So I firmly believe, there is no right age to marry, only the right state of mind and the right person.